Hello everybody, this is Sarah Twilight. I just decided to do a vlog, talk about the books I've been reading, and just, hang out with you guys. So, my week's kind of busy, so hopefully I don't want to say the word "so" a lot, because I am going to try to film at night, and so to keep everything kind of more smooth, I'll just be wearing pajamas. We can have like a pajama night. I'm gonna do some stuff. Never really done a vlog before, so hopefully this will go right. I'm gonna turn on some lo-fi music, and yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to get some hot cocoa, then we're going to go over some announcements, and I'll talk about the books I've been reading. And I know I'm not going to be able to get through all the filming tonight, I think, but hey, I'm starting now. Also, my hair's wet because I just took a shower, and I'm wearing this because my hair's wet. And I have thick hair, it's seeping, I don't know. Yeah, so come with me.
Order my food. Let's stay up all night. Let's pretend we're alright in the drive-thru. I'm in love with you. Now I know.
Hey everyone, I got my hot cocoa. Light's giving this a cool glare thing on it. Yeah, it's too hot for me to drink now, so I'm just gonna set it over here. And let's get into some announcements. So, as you know, Bookish Productions is owned by both me, Sarah Twilight, and my best friend, Louise Taylor. Notice how I said her name right this time? We have a website, we do blogs, and now we have this channel. But as of now, she won't be posting anything on this channel because we both have lives, and hers is really busy. She doesn't really have the time to sit down and make some videos. She wants to though. She has such great ideas. You guys are going to be really impressed. She's made like a studio thing. Like I was on the phone with her when she was like making some of it, and she's going to be on the blog though. She has time to like sit down and write because she loves writing. I mean, that girl pumped up for writing. She'll be writing on the blog more than I will. I'm not going to be very consistent since I have to make the videos for this, which I enjoy doing because I love video making and I want to do something in the editing industry. So this is great like practice. But yeah, that's basically the announcement. So let's get into some books, shall we? The first book I'm going to talk about is one that I read in December. Is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. Mcmanus. Yes, I forgot the author's name, so I read it on the back of the advertisement for the sequel, One of Us is Next. I actually have that on my bookshelf, I just haven't read that yet. Yeah, I know, that's so Sarah Twilight of you, Sarah Twilight. So this book is about 5 characters. So there's this high school, and there is Addie. She's like the prom princess. She's like the pink and fashion lady, and they're very close with her boyfriend. She's one of those girls. Then there's Nate. He has a criminal record. Kind of shady. He has a motorcycle. It's really cool. Then there is Cooper. Cooper is a sports jock dude, like with a southern charm, and he's a nice dude. It's kind of Captain America-like. Then there's Bronwyn. She is, I know that sounds like a guy's name, but it's a girl's name in this one. She's brain. She's really smart. Then there's Simon, and Simon is kind of a creep. He made this app where he puts like gossip posts for the whole school to read, and his sources are always correct. So yeah, he's exposing some pretty dark secrets. So they are having detention together under some weird circumstances, and then guess what? Simon dies, and they're all like freaking out, and they become suspects in his murder. And so they find out that he had stuff on all of them, so that makes them all suspects, and they're a little wary of each other, like who did what. It's really good. There were some like plot twists I didn't see coming. They had me guessing. I really read through this. All that being said, this book is not clean. Like, it has language. I don't like to give age recommendations for books because I know everyone's maturity level is different. just make sure you know how mature you are to read this stuff. Like, there isn't like any doing the do scenes, but it is talked about quite a bit, and their drug use is in here. But I don't think they use directly. It's just reference to a bunch. It's like basically the typical teenage like stuff. Like, I don't think this is typical though. This is really unacceptable, some of the stuff that goes on in here, but it's a good book. It's just not a good book. Also, one of these plot twists involves the LGBTQ community, and if you're comfortable reading that, that's fine. You can read this, but if you're not, this is just a heads up because, yeah, it's just good knowing that going in sometimes. I don't know, that everyone's different in their taste. So all in all, I really like this book. I just, be careful. Ow. Yep. I don't think it's, no. Okay, another book that I read in December, I really read more in December than I give myself credit for, come to think of it, is a book called To Best the Boys by Mary Weber. I think I'm pronouncing her last name right. So To Best the Boys it's set in a world that is a fantasy world based off of like posh Britain, like Pride and Prejudice Britain, sort of. And it features our main character named Wren, and there is this like deadly sickness going around, and her mother has it, and she and her father are both like kind of like scientists, and they're trying to figure out a cure to it. And that's going on, but Wren is trying to get Parliament to like actually pay attention, and all the nobles to pay attention to that stuff, because it's a serious matter. They're not taking it seriously, and there's just other stuff going on. She also has to deal with being a woman and wanting to get an education, being a scientist, like in that world, back in like posh British stuff, wasn't exactly the easiest. Women didn't really have a voice back then, and in that world, they didn't really have a voice at all. So every year, this elusive noble, I forgot the character's name, sorry, does this thing, like this massive party, invites all the people of university age to come and attend and try out to get a scholarship to this one university. And Wren, being desperate, decides to try out for this, along with her cousin Selene, or Solani. I think that's her name, we'll just call her Selene. And yeah, this is actually a really good book in my opinion, because it has a main character who's like, I guess the lady was like with a total like feminist lead, but it was really interesting though, because we have Wren, this girl wants to be a scientist, and then we have her cousin Selene, who's an awesome character, but she wants to be a mother, she wants to be a wife, and that isn't a bad thing. Like in society today, people are like, if you want to be a housewife, like go ahead, but it's not a bad thing. And this book portrayed it wonderfully, because each of these girls, they each have their own ambitions, but that doesn't stop them from finding love, and that doesn't stop one from wanting to go to a university, and another wanting to be a wife and a mother. Also, I should do a video about like talking about this and this book, but also yeah, the characters are really great. This is a pretty clean book, like there's kissing once in a while, and yeah, it's a good teenage read. I think there may be a little bit of language, but I'd really encourage people to read this book.
Just when I think of you, my fingers.
Okay, I'm back. Hopefully I can get everything I want to film tonight filmed. So let's get into it. I just pulled a Twice top 10 move doing this. Sorry. Okay, another book that I read in December is Wicked Fox. It was Black Friday shopping, went and bought a bunch of books, came across this one and a sequel, and I just, this book is by a lady named Kat Cho, and it's the first in a duology. I've actually read both of them. I'll talk about the sequel next after this one. So Wicked Fox is about this character named Ma Young, and she is a Gumyu. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know. She's basically a creature who has mystical power. She's immortal. She is gorgeous. That's kind of part of the whole thing. And she has 9 foxtails that come out in the moonlight. She can turn into a fox, a 9-tailed fox, and she eats the life force of men to survive every full moon. And she hates it. We also have the character Jihoon. I think that's how his name is pronounced, and these are Korean names, and I don't know how to pronounce both of them, but I'm doing my best. And I love this character so much. He's just one of those boys who just doesn't really care. Have you watched my last episode of Twice Top 10? He's the goofball character trope. And if you haven't watched that episode and you're confused, just go watch it. It'll explain it and you'll have fun. Anyway, so these two meet and stuff happens where Mayung loses this little bead thing that is connected to her life force and her powers and stuff like that. And she's like, what? No. And she's freaking out. And she and Jihoon keep running into each other, and they realize they have to work together. And they find out that other forces are in play. And this book has a lot of Korean mythology in it. It's really cool. And it's set in Seoul, Korea. I love reading books set in Korea at the moment because I'm interested in learning about that stuff right now. And so the best way to learn it, in my opinion, is to read a book set in that world. And I really liked this. It had good characters. Mayung could drive me crazy sometimes. Just and they both go on journeys, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in this book. I'm reading it, I'm like, wow, this is like an emotional roller coaster, especially at the end, because a lot of stuff happens like the last chunk of the book. And as of language, there's not really, okay, there's language, but a lot of it's in Korean. And as for romance, there's kissing. I mean, I'm not sure if there's really any appropriate stuff in this one, at least. Another thing I'd look out for is, you know how some kids aren't allowed to read Harry Potter when they're younger because of witchcraft? I feel like the same thing would apply to this book because of the Korean mythology. I don't know, it's just something that's nagging me because I was one of those kids who wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter for a while because of witchcraft, so just keep that in mind. All in all, I really like this book, and I have a Pinterest board on it, so go check it out at my Sarah Twilight's Pinterest. I also read in December, I finished this actually Christmas Day. This isn't as shiny as the other book is because you can see the reflection here, but this is more like matte. Anyway, Vicious Spirits is a sequel to Wicked Fox, and they can't really be read separately. You kind of have to read both of them and close to each other because I think this is a really good sequel because the characters, a lot of them had like closure, like and stuff, like they had good arcs, but then those arcs are furthered in this book, and we also get to dive into the heads of 2 characters who we've come to love in this book, Somin and Juno. There's going to be spoiler stuff in this one if you haven't read Wicked Fox, so just skip this part of the video. So let's just say, because of stuff that's happened in Wicked Fox, there's a lot of stuff now happening in this one. So all of these characters, except for Mayung, were featured in my last episode of Twilight Top 10, so go check that one out. I'll leave like a link in the description. Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's just Mayung could drive me crazy, and plot-wise, it was a good story, had great character arcs, and basically they have to do a lot of things because this guy, he's immortal. He is a Dokeibai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm reading it from the glossary thing. Again, I cannot pronounce these things, I'm sorry. And let's just say stuff in the past that he's done has consequences leading to what's happening right now. They have to go on an adventure. He has to learn to get along with other people and like earn trust back. And also stuff from Wicked Fox. Like all this comes together in this one, and it's pretty cool. As for language, the same thing with Wicked Fox. And okay, with romance, you gotta be a little more careful with this one because there's a few scenes where they almost do it, like you could see it going there, but it doesn't end up going there. So just keep that in mind for the romance department. Oh no, I liked it. It had great like character arcs for these two, but also it furthered the character arcs for these two characters. The only thing I didn't like was because they didn't have Jihoon's point of view in this one. They only had Mayang's, Somin's, and Junhoon's. They didn't have... Jihoon was one of the best characters, but yeah, that's just me. So more filming. Let's see if I can finish this up tonight, because if I can't, we are going to have a problem. But anyway, so this next book I'll be talking about is one I got for Christmas. This is a really glossy cover, so you're probably going to see the reflection of my ring light. So sorry about that. This one is called Comeback, and wow, you can't really see the ring light like I feared. That's good. Anyway, this book is called Comeback. It's a K-pop novel. It is by Lynn Ashwood and Rachel Rose. So, it was really satisfying. Anyway, this book is about this character named Emery, but he goes by his stage name M. He is part of this K-pop group called Neon, which is a really cool name. And also, I love the name that the authors chose for the fandom, Glow, but spelled G-L-O instead of, like they usually spell Glow. And this girl named Elena Kim. So Elena, she is a QWERTY, which is basically she's a stylist. She's staff. She helps get makeup on to groups, like their outfits, like she runs errands, stuff like that. And she's working for this girls group with her cousin. Her cousin's awesome, by the way. And so she and Emery run into each other, literally. And turns out this isn't the first time they've run into each other. They've known each other before. And we are kind of we're left to wonder, like, wait, how do they know each other? And it's explained in the book, of course, but, it's really cool. So these two keep running into each other. And the thing is with Elena, she has had some family sorrow, like something really bad happened to her. And she kind of connects that to Neon because she used to be a huge fangirl for Neon, but because something that happened is connected to that, so she's now like trying to stay away from Neon, trying to stay away from the memories. And then Emery has a very strained relationship with his family. Like, he sometimes talks to his mom. They don't really support his work. He doesn't talk to his dad at all. It's bad. But thankfully, he's been able to make a new family with the other members of Neon. And yeah, that's kind of what's happening. And these two characters, of course, fall in love and all that. But that was kind of expected. I really liked this book because it was just really good character writing. And I felt like I was reading it and like being transported to like be next to BTS or Stray Kids. I've watched so many videos about like my favorite K-pop idols that like when I'm reading this, I feel like I'm there. Like I kind of relate to it in a way. Girl can dream about going to Korea and meeting K-pop idols. Can she? Yes, she can. And then you stop me at characters really good. There was this one part at the end, like the darkest moment was kind of long, annoying in a way, but I mean it resolved itself pretty good. And there's going to be more. This is the first in the series. I can't wait to see what else happens. I love these characters so much. Yeah. Okay, so there is some language, but not really a lot. Very mild, I guess. And there's kissing. And then, okay, there's no scenes, but I mean it's alluded to at one point. I'm over here like, well, it's pretty good, pretty clean. So yeah, definitely read it. It's called Comeback, and I love it. This next book is one book that I'm actually reading now, but I'm still putting it on this list because I'm so close to being done with it. It is called An Ember in the Ash by Saba Tahir. And again, I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. So this book, An Ember in the Ash, is the first in a series, and after I read the series, I'll probably do a vlog on it because I really like this book so far. So this is a fantasy world. It's called the Empire. And there's our character Laya. She lives with her grandma and her grandpa and her brother. And she used to have a mom and an older sister, but they were really big in the resistance against the Empire. And they were killed. And so she has to live with that. And then one day a mask. So masks are marshals. Marshals are like the ruling class. And then there's scholars. And like they took over the scholars. And Laya is a scholar. Or is it Laya? I'm calling her Laya. Sorry. And a mask comes, and apparently her brother Darren was doing some stuff he shouldn't have been doing, and he's taken away, and she runs. Her grandparents are killed, and she has no idea what she's gonna do. And so she goes and finds the resistance, and they are gonna help her, but she has to be a spy at Blackcliff. Blackcliff is the place where they train the masks. Masks are like, think of Black Widows from Marvel. That's masks, except, they're of both genders, so usually male. And they just, they're really dangerous, and they work for the Emperor, and you don't want to run into these guys. Anyway, so there's this character named Elias. He is the son of the leader of the masks. He hates being a mask. Like, he really dislikes it. He wants to desert, but then things happen, and he finds out that he has to stay and deal with some stuff. And so he has to deal with his relationships, but also has to deal with stuff that's keeping him at Blackcliff. And he and her, they bump into each other, and let's just say a lot of things get started. I really like this book. I don't think there's really that much language in it at all. I mean, there are some kissing scenes. There are some kind of like suggested like stuff about doing the do, but it's not mentioned, and it's kind of like frowned upon. And there's mention of stuff like sexual assault, and so probably like, it's not too bad, but I don't know how to say it. So guys, these are the books that I've been reading. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it's gonna be long, and I hope you were able to chillax, get in your pajamas, get some like hot cocoa or coffee or tea, or something that makes you comfy. I hope you enjoyed the lo-fi beats. Now I gotta go edit this, gotta do some other stuff, and if you want me to do more videos like this, just let me know. I probably am going to do in future, but I had fun making this. Honestly, it was a new experience for me, talking about the books I've read recently. And if you've read any of these books, tell me in the comments below. If you would like to read any of these books, tell me in the comments below. You can comment if you want. Just, keep being amazing, you, and good night. I don't know where you're living when you're watching this. Good night.